Lowcountry Local First, or Lowcountry Local Works, came in existence 5 years ago, and now the organization is looking to its future. I speak exclusively with Executive Director Jamee Haley for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Jamee Haley.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing great. It's always good to see you.
Likewise, here at Lowcountry Local First.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're the big boss here.
Well, I don't know about all that. Yeah.
There's so much going on in the Lowcountry. What is it like to be you these days?
Oh my goodness. What is it like to be me these days? I don't know anything but to be me these days. But I mean, it's third break. Just like you said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of issues that the members that we represent, which are the local independent business community, are facing with the growth that the city is experiencing, from being able to attract employees, which also then becomes an issue of affordable housing and transportation, to flooding. So, we are out there kind of trying to address all of those things, and really work to be that voice of the local business community. Yeah.
You talk about flooding. I want to take it to an event that's coming up soon because obviously you just posted this on your Facebook page. You said this, calling all small business owners. Is your business prepared for the upcoming hurricane season? Get ahead of the storm and join us Wednesday, June 5th for an interactive workshop with seasoned pros to learn how best to prepare for upcoming storms and potential flood events throughout the year. And the topics will include business continuity plans, disaster declaration, evacuation and re-entry, HR considerations and policies, physical property asset protection, financial and operational considerations, crisis communication PR. When you go to this workshop, what else can we expect?
So I think a lot of times, we, particularly with the number of storms that we've had lately and the amount of flooding that we've had, that people are not necessarily prepared. And we definitely have heard this from a lot of our members, from not only understanding the type of insurance that they need to have, but how do they decide when they should let their employees leave, So do they make those decisions based on what the county determines? What if they're hourly employees rather than salaried employees? So we want to make sure that everybody is safe and taken care of, but we also don't want to be overly reactionary. So I think it's those types of things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about how you handle the PR side of that, right? If you've got to close down, and there's been a lot of people that are depending on you. We hear those things all the time. To what can you do to sort of mitigate some of the financial burden that comes with these storms? So how can you start preparing and saving, maybe 3 months worth of operating funds so that when something like this happens, you aren't either, your business doesn't have to shut down or you're not devastated from it.
And when you look back at these previous hurricanes to right now from a business standpoint, what still plays in your mind?
Well, I mean, it certainly plays in my mind that there's a long-term effect, right? It's not just what's happened that month. It's not just the damage to your building. It's sort of that whole economic recovery, and that the time that it takes to do that, and then just sort of what we need to be doing as not only a city, but as a state and as a region to sort of try to mitigate some of these things from happening. I mean, our building here floods badly. And so we have a plan. We know what we need to do physically to prepare the building, but, what could be done in terms of, drainage, addressing some of the drainage issues here with the Department of Transportation so that perhaps we don't get hit quite so hard from those things.
And I know that we were supposed to go meet up in North Charleston.
Yeah.
And I know that obviously there's some great news coming from that area, from the community-driven business incubation work, which you all are doing along with Reynolds Avenue. What is the future of Reynolds Avenue in your mind?
Oh, I see such a great future for Reynolds Avenue. I think that there are so many assets there. I think that the fact that Metanoia has been there for the past 15 years, laying the groundwork and doing such good work in that area has really enabled us to build upon that. And so we're doing a lot of exciting things. We are leasing a building from Metanoia, the Dean's building, where we're going to be incubating a couple of brick and mortar businesses in there. And so, we're currently working with folks to try to get them ready for that opportunity. We have also helped identify some of the businesses that are currently on the street, such as Dell's and Melvina Ravenel, who has DeJum. Okay, great, I'm glad you met her. So, those have been some of the most fun and exciting opportunities that I've had over the last couple of years is to get to work with those folks who really want to see that community do well and are really invested in that community. It is right there on the cusp, right, of Charleston and North Charleston. So there is, certainly the chance of people becoming displaced in that neighborhood with growth going that direction. So I think the more that we can get ahead of it, the more we can try to make sure that the businesses who are invested in that community already have a chance to succeed, the less opportunity others have to come in and displace those folks. And that they have the opportunity to actually participate in and benefit from the growth into that area rather than being displaced by it.
Obviously, when you talk about growth, you talk about gentrification.
Sure.
How do you define that in 2019?
Well, I think, we look at gentrification not only as a racial issue, but as a business issue, right? So we're seeing a gentrification of businesses as well, right? So whether it's sort of like we've got a lot of businesses that all look alike, and we don't have a good diversity of businesses, or it's displacing a lot of the Black-owned businesses who are sort of a legacy business and can no longer afford to be in a particular area. I think that this particular area has the opportunity to sort of create the vision that they want for their city, and I think that ownership is a big part of that, and I think that helps prevent that gentrification. If you own your property, whether it be your home or your business, the less chances there are that you're going to be pushed out, right? So we think that business ownership matters just as much as home ownership matters, if not even more. We know that individuals do better when they actually are self-employed. We know that there's a huge population of working poor in that area, and so we want to provide that foundation for businesses in that Chicora, Cherokee area, Union Heights area, to have the best chance of success. So we are, this fall, we're going to be launching a program called Good Enterprises, which is a 12-week, starts with a 12-week community business academy, and we're going to be teaching it right there on Reynolds Avenue behind the Dean's building where Metanoia has some classroom space for their Young Leaders program, and then from there they can go on and participate in business accelerator services. So it's a business simulation type of course. We're adopting a curriculum from a group out of New Jersey called Rising Tide, who's been doing this for 15 years with tremendous success. They're seeing their business owners have about an 87% success rate after 5 years, and a typical business owner has about a 50% success rate. They're seeing revenues increase by 112%. They're seeing people's incomes increase by over 50%, and they're also seeing people moving off of public assistance. So this is why this program is so important to us. And we really want our organization to reflect the community of businesses that exist here in the Lowcountry. And we also want to see more people being given the opportunity to discover their entrepreneurial dreams and to give them the best chance of success in those.
And I know you just talked about those percentages. In the next 5-10 years, what would that look like for the Reynolds Avenue area in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so much potential. So I see, Metanoia has also bought the Quintin building on the other side of Dell's. So I see that as a huge opportunity for some of the people who come out of this program to then have an opportunity to be in that building. There are other, very community-minded property owners in that area who are looking for tenants who are the right fit for that community. And I think that we have an opportunity to help place tenants in those spaces as well. I see it being a robust, thriving place where there is a great representation of Black business ownership there.
Speaking of Black business owners, let me talk to you about the Cocktail Bandits.
Oh yes, love them.
Yes, indeed, absolutely. Obviously, they're going to be coming up soon with their second Tiki Techie Talk.
Right, it's an outlet. Come twister.
This is how does the Cocktail Bandits beat technology?
How do they beat it?
How do they beat technology?
Oh, I mean, they have built their business on technology, right, through social media, and I think that they are wonderful about sharing their expertise with others in the community and how they've done it, and so they've been able to partner with brands and bring brand awareness through their social media presence. I think they're two very smart women who have been able to make success out of making cocktails and having a good time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to do that, right?
Yeah, awesome. Great. And this is going to be a great event as well. Looking from now to the next 5 years, what should be the foundation for the Lowcountry Local First in your mind?
There is a shift that we are making, and a conscious shift that we're making, because we have seen that not only do the current sort of efforts in economic development not support a diverse array of businesses, not just local businesses in general, but particularly giving an opportunity for minority businesses. And so we're going to be making a significant effort in ensuring that that's happening. And we think that that is an economic imperative as well as a moral imperative for our state and for our country. And we're making a significant amount of investment in that happening right now.
Right.
And so this next year, like I said, we'll launch this Community Business Academy, and then the next year we'll do 3 of them. We'll eventually teach it in Spanish. The third year we're going to be teaching 6 of them. So we anticipate this, having a reoccurring one on Reynolds Avenue, but also teaching them on the east side and Goose Creek and different areas. We're going to be focusing on those communities that have been underserved. We are going to take what we consider the best entrepreneurship program in the country, and we're going to take it into those communities that have been left behind.
What are those other communities that are being left behind right now in your mind?
So I think that they are the Hispanic business community. I mean, if you talk to, we have a relationship with the Hispanic Business Association. There are no municipalities in the area that actually have a business license in Spanish.
Okay.
So that's a real issue. We did a credit to capital workshop for them, and we couldn't find any lenders who had any Spanish-speaking employees. So, that is certainly a community that's being underrepresented, and certainly the Black business ownership community, I feel like is underrepresented. I think that if we can, gentrification has already occurred and people have already been displaced in most of the peninsula, right? So. But I think if we can get in and we can help some of the businesses that are on, like in the east side and some in West Ashley that have been lacking investment, and help them get their business idea off the ground, then maybe we can also help identify, where they can locate themselves as well. So whether that be, someplace like Reynolds Avenue, or maybe it's they just need an office space, and it's here at Local Works. One of the reasons that we started Local Works was because we wanted to be able to provide a professional, collaborative workplace for folks that was affordable. And we're coming up on our 5th year next month of having this. And we support, over 40 businesses in this little spot. And so it's pretty cool to watch that happen.
You said a couple of things. I got to pick some questions out.
Sure.
Okay. Let me go back to what you said earlier about gentrification. This might be a silly question, but how do you slow down gentrification now?
It's going to be difficult. I don't have the answer to that. I do think ownership is part of that, right? And I think if you own your home or you own your business, then there's less chance of that happening. So, but until we can get people to the place where they have the ability to do that, and I think one of the ways we have the ability to do that is through business ownership. Whether or not the solution is coming fast enough will be the question. Because certainly development and growth is rapidly occurring. I also think that, what folks like Metanoia and Lamsey are doing by buying property and selling it or leasing it to people in the community and having that commitment will help prevent some of that from happening. But I don't think there's any way to completely stop it. I think that there is hopefully an opportunity to create something that is good for everyone, right? So that we get the revenues and the income and the spending power of people who have the ability to support those businesses coming into those areas. And then at the same time, we have those businesses that are able to then employ people in that neighborhood, right? Support efforts and activities whether it be with the students or the church or whatever, because those businesses are then successful.
Where is that spending power coming from now?
For the neighborhood on Reynolds Avenue, I think it's coming from a sort of a diverse group of individuals. There's people certainly who work around that area that are coming in and spending money, whether it's folks at the Navy base or even from, our area here in the Neck. We go up there and we go eat at Dell's or go do an exercise class at the gym. Yeah. And it's people within those communities as well. But I think we need people coming from different areas, right, to support those businesses. We can't just expect one community to support those businesses.
And you talked earlier, and as I was just walking in here, I thought about this. You just mentioned 40 businesses you all supporting. I hope you're not you might have to be biased, but what is that one favorite local business that you love today?
Oh gosh, yeah, that is a really hard question. That's so hard. There's so many great ones. There are so many people doing interesting things.
Sure.
We have this one young man, Sam Norton, who has a business called Heron Farms, and he's working out of here, but he is actually working on something. I always forget the scientific name of it. I call it sea pickle. You probably are familiar with it, but it's an edible native plant, and he is now cultivating that in different areas and is using it not only as a product that can be sold to the restaurants, but he's also using that, working with MUSC to discover the medicinal value of that as well. So, I'm always interested in things like that are super innovative, but then I also get really excited when I get to work with people and actually see their dream for them and their family come to fruition. I'm working with a couple right now who is somebody that's looking at going on Reynolds Avenue, and they have a bakery, and they have been doing it for about 2 years, and now they're looking to open up their first brick and mortar, and they're working so hard, and they're doing all the right things, and it's really fun to see them and meet with them, and then telling me how, every time they drive by the building, they say a little prayer, that that dream comes to fruition. So that's extremely rewarding.
Rewarding. Obviously, this dream has came to fruition because it started 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference between 5 years ago and now in your mind?
Let's see. Well, I mean, I think the need is even more because the prices of real estate have gone up even more, right? And then, certainly when we started here, there wasn't much happening in this area, and now we're the brewery district,
Sure.
and there's, a lot of the light manufacturing folks who are in this area are unfortunately kind of getting pushed out as real estate goes up. But so I think we're seeing more people that are staying for longer maybe than they did at the beginning. They outgrow us maybe at a slower rate than they were. We're seeing a lot of business success. We've got, we surveyed folks last year, and collectively the people who are here were generating about $22 million in revenues annually, so that was significant. And I think it's really just sort of the culture and, the vibe of this place that really attracts people to be here, right? Like you're either, we used to worry about when other co-working spaces opened up, like, was that going to hurt us? Was it going to be a threat? And at the end of the day, people need to go where they feel the most comfortable, and either that's us or it's not. And we want people who are excited about being here and who are respectful of each other and to want to collaborate with each other. And we've been able to create that. So I don't see I don't know. It's not been. I don't know that there's been a huge transformation over the last 5 years. Other than that, it's really just continues to be a need in the community, which is a good thing, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, this is what I wanted to ask. What is that one person or business that you would like to collaborate with now?
Ooh. One person or business that I would like to collaborate with now. Gosh. There's so many that we do collaborate with. I mean, we've had a great partnership with Metanoia. We love collaborating with them. Collaborate with the Community Loan Fund, the Local Development Corporation. Who else would we love to have on our radar? Thinking. I will give you not necessarily a business, but a sector.
Okay.
Is we've wanted to collaborate more with the tech sector. I think that there is a huge opportunity there, and a lot of times tech companies are very insular, and meaning that they have most of what they need within their company, right? They're not looking for a lot of, accountants or marketing companies or whatever outside of their four walls. But we do think getting their employees more engaged with us and our work helps to create a sense of belonging. And because then they can start discovering what is unique and special about Charleston and our place and the businesses that are here. And then once they discover those businesses, hopefully those businesses also do better. So I would say, we think that that's a great way for them to help retain their employees, particularly those employees who are from outside of the area who moved here. Like anybody who's moved here and is looking for a way to connect with the community, I think our organization is a great way to do that.
That is so great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, Jamee Haley, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Thank you, Quintin.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you.
Likewise.